Hi, my beautiful friends, and welcome to the latest video of Be Cliche. Now, if you haven't already seen on Be Social, if you haven't already seen based on the title, then let me announce to you, we are going international. Be Social is going international, and today we are talking everything you need to know about group trips. So if you have ever wanted to travel but felt stuck between wanting the experience and overthinking every outcome, then this episode is for you. I'm going to talk you through group trips and why this is right for you. And you can listen to the episode and maybe you decide group trips isn't for you, because this is what it's for. It's to make sure you know what you're going into and see if this is what you want. And if it is what you want, join us on an adventure of a lifetime, because this will be the first trip. Hopefully the first trip of many. And I'm so excited because one of my things I've experienced when traveling is not a lot of South Australians traveling. So I am excited to get some more Adelaideans out there. But I will say this group trip, although Be Social is designed for people from Adelaide, it is open to anyone outside of Adelaide. So if you're listening to this and you're not South Australian, you're not even Australian, you are still welcome to come on this trip. It's actually even works. It would be amazing to have some internationals on this trip. It would be amazing to have some other Aussies on this trip. And if you are Adelaide based, then it is time. It is time. This episode is going to show you if you're ready to join our 2026 trip. Now, before we start, I want to talk a little bit about my experience with travel, solo trips and group trips. So I have done a lot of solo trips. I've visited 36 countries now, and I've lived overseas 3 times. So I did the Netherlands, I did America, I did summer camp, and I lived in London for 2 years. And so I've done a lot of trips along the way, and I've traveled alone a lot. I made so many friends on the road, and I navigated the highs and lows of travels. Trust me, I did. There have been plenty of tears, there are plenty of laughter, but it's made me who I am today, and I'm so grateful for every single trip I had. And I have done group trips in the past as well, and I'm really excited with who we're partnering with, because I think this is going to expand group trips and create almost a hostel-like environment. And because through what I've created in Be Social Adelaide, I've hosted events for people who want connection without awkwardness or pressure. And so hosting this group trip felt like a natural extension of creating these safe, supported spaces for people to step outside of their comfort zone. So the way I see this trip is basically our events turned into an international trip. So this will be a place where you can come and feel comfortable with a group of people that are all experiencing the same thing together. I was speaking to a friend about this the other day, and a group of friends, and something one said really stuck with me. And when I've gone on group trips before, one of the hardest things is that no one is from Adelaide, and we come back afterwards and we don't get to see each other again. But that's not going to happen this time. After the trip is over, you're going to come back to Adelaide with a connection to a group of people that you will have never experienced before. If you have never traveled before, a travel connection is something else. It is a whole different experience. It is this understanding of each other because you have went through something together, or went through this amazing trip, created this amazing memories together. And it is very hard to break that. If you have been traveling before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyone you met while traveling, if you have the opportunity to see them again, it is absolutely incredible. So this episode, by the end of this episode, you're going to have clarity around whether a group trip is right for you, what actually happens on group trips, and how to know if you're ready. And I'm also going to help you in how to move through the fear before saying yes. Now, our roadmap today, that's very roadmap because we're traveling. We're going to talk about solo travel versus group travel, who group trips are really for, common fears and questions and honest answers around it, what my group trip is designed to feel like, and how community changes the travel experience. Now, there is an Instagram group chat for anyone who is interested in this trip. So a lot of the organization and all the details will first go through this group. So if you're interested, you can comment on the post, you can send me a message, you can send me a DM through Instagram, which is @bizsocial.adl, and I can add you to the chat. Or I can keep you updated in other ways. I will be including any links for this trip. If you're listening to this a little bit later on and there's more updates, I'll include any links in the notes of both the episode, whether it be the show notes or the YouTube caption. So have a look there to see of any updates. Okay, let's get into the episode and let's learn about some group trips. So let's talk first about solo travel versus group travel. Now, solo travel, I am a big advocate for. I'm not going to lie. I've done so much of it and it's absolutely incredible. It builds independence and self-trust like never before. Whereas group trip, it offers like shared experiences and built-in support. Neither is better. They just suit different seasons of life. And as I said, I am a big advocate for solo travel. However, group travel is perfect for anyone who is traveling for the first time or who wants to lean into both cultural and the social side of travel without really having to worry too much about the planning side of it. Because group trips remove that pressure while still allowing you to embrace the culture. I have had group trips in the past where I felt like it was more drinking focused, and I felt like every night we were going out and drinking and then you don't wake up till late in the morning. That's not what this trip will be about. This group trip with One Life will not be about drinking. It will be about cultural immersion. That's not to say that there won't be nights out, that we won't go out together, and you still have your free will to do what you want with your nights. However, that is not going to be the focus of the trip. The focus is going to be about connection, about cultural immersion, about experiencing the place that you're in. I just feel very connected to that meaning behind it, which is why I went with One Life Adventures, because although I do believe a night out here and there can be a really fun way to connect and grow together and just have experiences together, I don't think every night should be a focus on that, because there is so much to see. I can do that at home, and I want to be able to actually experiencing the culture and what's happening in that country. So keep that in mind depending on what you're looking for in a group trip. If you are looking for a party trip, more of a party trip, then I wouldn't necessarily recommend this, because yes, it will be a part of, like, there will be opportunities for that, but it will not be a focus. So if you're looking for a party trip, I would recommend some other group trips. You can send me a DM if you like, and I can send some suggestions your way. Now, who are group trips for? So group trips are for people who want to travel without doing it completely alone. There is a little bit of bravery that has to come out of solo travel, where you do often have to be the one that starts the conversation, that kind of leads into it, which can be really fun, but it can be really confronting, especially if it's your first time doing it. So there is still that element of bravery that comes on group trips. Like, you are still meeting a whole new range of people. However, you're only doing it once. Like, you're meeting these people and then you're creating memories with these people. This is for people who also, like, you're in a transition phase of life. You're ready for something new, and you're ready for some change, and you're not sure what that is yet, maybe. Well, this could be a perfect kind of segue to lean into. This is also for first-time travelers. It's not only designed for first-time travelers. If you have traveled before, this trip is very much open to you as well. But if you are a first-time traveler, I would very highly recommend starting with a group trip. This is for people who value connection but still want personal space. If you love connection and you want to meet new people and you want to socialize, but sometimes you just need space to yourself, group trip is actually really great for that too, because it's your decision, like your trip. You join what you want to join, part of it. There are activities that are part of the overall tour, but then you will also have free time to use as you want. But if there's any activities you don't want to come along to, you're an adult. You get to do what you want to do. And this is also for people if you're a little lower with confidence or you don't really have experience, then this is a great way to just kind of move into travel with a bit more, to build that confidence and trust of somebody else helping guide you along the way. The thing is, the reason I lent so much into this is I feel like the biggest reason people haven't traveled is they don't want to do solo the first time, which is totally understandable. I didn't do solo the first time. I did it with a group of friends. But that leads us to the second problem. Trips never make it out of the group chat. Let's be honest. They don't make it out of the group chats because either dates don't align or no one wants to be the one taking responsibility for planning it. Well, with this trip, it's not your responsibility. You pay and you come along and you are supported. One Life have a very great team which will help you with any questions. I'm also there for any questions that you might have. So it's a very supportive environment that you will be part of. Let's address some common fears and questions. First one, what if I don't fit in? This is the biggest benefit of a group trip, is that they're designed for both introverted and extroverted, and that is also what I'm here for. I'm here to create a space where you are welcome, where you can come and join in and you can feel welcomed. So that the group trips kind of give you that opportunity to fit in much easier and not have to keep introducing yourself to new people. If it's something that you are very nervous about and you are based in Adelaide, I would recommend coming along to an event first, whether it be one of the social walks, whether it be a ticketed event, and feel free to mention it to me that you're considering the group trip, at the event, that you're considering the group trip, but you're not sure yet and you want to test it out. And it's just a great way to get an idea of what it will feel like and whether you're ready for it or not. Another common fear is I don't drink. So as I've already mentioned, unlike other group tours or specific group tours, it's not a focus on drinking. You do not have to drink to be able to come to the group tour. I don't drink very often. And if I do, I don't have much. So I am also on that boat with things. So this trip is more about cultural immersion, and you can have the absolute flexibility to join in whatever you want to do. As I said, people have free time. If people choose to go out, that is up to them. But you can choose what you want to do. This is not a focus on drinking. This is not you need to be able to hold your alcohol and get drunk to be able to fit in. Next one is I want to participate in a lot of activities. This is what this tour will be designed for. It will be designed in a way to have the best activities in mind in order to actually embrace the country we're visiting. It does mean that there will be a slightly higher pricing point because we want to actually have an experience where you can come along and experience the place rather than coming along and it being like, oh, you can join this activity, but it's another blah, blah, blah dollars. You can join this activity, but it's another blah, blah, blah dollars. It's not, there will always be activities suggested to you that you can add on, but I don't want it to be like a bunch of spare time where you have to just pay all this unexpected money to join in. And there will also be suggestions of free things that you can do in your free time. Another fear is traveling is unsafe. Look, I get the fear around that, and it's always good to be precautious, but it is not as scary as it is made out to be. And group trips in particular are your best avenues if this is a very big fear of yours, because you're not alone in it. You are in this group, and it's also run by a company, so they take the extra precautions to make sure that the rules are followed and things are actually put in place. On that, a requirement of the trip will be to get insurance, and travel insurance is, even if you're solo traveling, I really recommend it, but it is obviously not a requirement if you're solo traveling. However, with the group trip, it is a requirement for you to get insurance, which means that you are covered for a lot of things. So if, say your phone was to get stolen, then you would have coverage for that. Or if something happened and you injured yourself in one way, you would be covered for that. Another common fear is I can't afford to pay for it outright. This is so common. This is so normal. Trips cost money to do these incredible once-in-a-lifetime experiences, because this exact trip will never be repeated. This exact people will never be recreated. So it is going to have a price point where it's not just a weekend trip away. It is totally normal to not be able to pay it outright. That is absolutely understandable, which is why One Life have created an option where you can do payment installments. So basically you pay a deposit to lock in your spot, and then you pay a certain amount as it goes. And if this is an option you want to explore when it gets released, this is something they will offer and they can talk you through as well. If there are any other fears I haven't touched on or anything at all, feel free, like just drop me a DM or drop me a comment, like whatever questions you might have. Please do feel free to reach out to me, because this is what I'm here for. I'm here to provide help. There are no stupid questions. Trust me, I've already asked any stupid question. Like, I am a question master, and when I was first embracing travel, I asked all the silly ones. So there can't be any silly ones left. So I will not judge you for any questions you have. This is something big you're coming into and a leap you're taking. So you ask whatever questions you want and send them my way. And you never know, somebody else might actually be wondering the same thing and they just want someone else to ask it. So be that person. So what are group trips really like? So when you first arrive for group trips, you are nervous. Like maybe you haven't met these people yet. Maybe you met them in Adelaide if you are based in here, like joining it. But either way, like you're coming to a new country and you are going to have a little bit of culture shock. Like it's going to be very different, and it's totally normal. It's so normal to feel those nerves. We're all feeling it. Whether we're showing it or not, we're feeling it. But what happens with the group trips is the structure quickly eases the anxiety, because you feel that structure from get-go, and so you quickly start to fall into the routine of it. So although you're doing this incredible thing overseas and like you're having an amazing, like life-changing experience where you're putting yourself out your comfort zone, that structure and that routine is going to quickly make you much more comfortable. And then what happens is the conversations deepen quickly. I can't express how much I love travel friendships. Like, I kind of touched on it before, but meeting these people, I get even emotional thinking of it. Like, all the people I've met, like, I cannot express enough how amazing these connections really are. Because you're putting yourself in your comfort zone, you guys you're instantly creating this, like, understanding of each other, because you're both doing something that is out of your comfort zone and not what you're used to. So you have that thing to relate to. And what happens because of that is fast-paced friendship grows. I remember, and this is a solo travel example, but I remember meeting this girl just before a group trip, and we were in this huge big conversation, 2 hours deep, where I knew her life story, she knew my life story. This is, again, only 2 hours. And then 2 hours in, she goes, "Oh, sorry, what was your name?" Your name actually becomes so unimportant in this, because you start to create these connections that are so deep and important. These fast-paced friendships that, if you ever seen something like Love Island, it's not going to be like that, but have you see how quickly they move along and how close they get really quickly? It's like that because you're seeing much more of each other in a short period of time. But remember, you are never forced to do everything together. You don't need to do everything together. You always have an option. You always have your free will to decide what you want to do. And your free time is for you to also do what you want to do. So that means you can join in. Normally what happens with group trips is someone makes a plan in free time and invites other people to join. I've seen it in Be Social in the events. Whenever there's not an event on and there's a weekend free, someone will pop in the chat and be like, "Does anyone want to come do this with me?" And so it happens naturally and very like automatically. But you also have the choice to stay and rest and chill, or go do your own thing. That's what's really magical about it. But remember, the magic is in these in-between moments as well. The activities are incredible. The group trip is incredible. And I can only go so much how incredible they'll be. But there is so much magic in those in-between moments as well. So remember, you get to choose how involved you are in any part of the group trip. Now, on the group trip, I want to talk about why emotional safety matters. Emotional safety, it's our safety blanket, and the support you will receive will change how you show up. Because that structure, as I already mentioned, it really allows you to relax. Like you were being guided. You don't have to make those big decisions by yourself. You're getting a taste of what solo travel is like, which is why I really encourage group trips. But you're doing it in an environment where you can learn to regulate your emotions much more, but also be challenged in a way that is really exciting. So it's this adventure, but without the chaos side that kind of comes with solo travel. and you don't have any need to prove anything. Like it's a very safe environment to be in. And I want to talk a little bit about how it relates back to Be Social Adelaide and what Be Social is. So I created Be Social for connection, and connection without that awkwardness. It's a space where you can come and meet new people and be guided and kind of be supported in how you are and who you are. And Be Social is basically based off of travel. Be Social was created because of travel, because I saw those hostel friendships, even group travel friendships, and the support. And I wanted to get people to experience that. But that's very confronting to try and experience yourself, to just walk up to somebody on the street and be like, hi, will you be my friend? So I created Be Social like a group trip, where it's like, you come to this space, you are guided and you are given activities and games to play. And so it takes off, like it kind of gives you that common ground, and then you just get to connect with people and meet new people. So the group trip is an extension of this community, of coming along, of having structure, but being able to be yourself and like meet these people and create these friendships. And it's the same values that come from Be Social that comes from the group trip: respect, openness, connection, fun, safety. All of these are such an important part, and that is what I made Be Social to be, and that is what this group trip will be. So how do you know if you should say yes? You keep thinking about it. It keeps popping back in your mind. Maybe you've been thinking you want to go to Japan, Sri Lanka. Maybe you just keep thinking about group trips. Maybe you've been thinking about Be Social, and it keeps bringing you back to it. You crave a reset. Maybe last year was a really hard year. Maybe a lot happened. Maybe you just need kind of to step out of your normal world for a little bit. So take that yes. Or maybe you're tired of waiting for the perfect time. You keep saying, I'll travel once I finish my university degree. I'll travel once I've done 1 year of work. I'll travel once I'm old. I'll try. There's always a later. There's always a perfect time. I'm going to wait for the perfect time. I'm going to wait till I have more money. There is never really a perfect time. That is the spoiler alert. There is never a perfect time to say yes. You just have to follow your gut instinct to say yes. If this is calling to you, if something is outright being like, no, this is not for me, then listen to that too. But if your curiosity is pulling you to this, then listen to it. Listen to that guidance. Now, you should also say yes if you want memories, not just plans. This is why I'm making it a focus to have, because we get to control this itinerary. This itinerary is private for Be Social. This is created particularly for Be Social. And I want there to be activities that create memories, that make you look back and go, remember that time that we did this? Not just plans, not just, oh yeah, we're going to this place, but I don't really know what I'm doing there. And we're creating memories. And whether it be in the activities, whether it be in the in-between moments, we are going to walk out of that group trip a little community that experienced that group trip and had the most incredible time. And we all experienced it together, and that no one will ever be able to take away that experience that we had together. Also, another time you should say yes, if you've been wanting to travel for a long time, but you haven't wanted to start solo, and as I said, it never made it out of the group chat. If travel has been calling you for a long time and you haven't done it yet, then say yes. This is time to say yes. I don't know why you haven't done it yet, but this is your opportunity. So lean into it. And say yes if you are called to explore the world. You are called to see these beautiful, beautiful countries and their beautiful culture and their traditions and the locals, the amazing locals that make it what it is. Explore the world. The world is so much bigger than Adelaide. It's so much bigger than wherever you live. There's so much out there, and I can't express it enough. And I say this as a girl that in high school and primary school hated school camps. Yet this travel is the most amazing thing I have experienced. And also you should say yes if you've been wanting to visit Sri Lanka or Japan, because those are our options that are coming, and more information around that is definitely coming. So again, group chat. Now, to close up the episode, just remember you do not need everything figured out before you make your decision. You do not need everything figured out to say yes to travel or to a group trip. You do not need confidence or experience. You just need openness and curiosity. And this is why I'm so important that if you are not feeling the call, if something is telling you no, or something about it doesn't line up with you, don't do it then. I'm never going to try and like force and sell something to someone that is not wanting to do it, because that takes away from everyone's experience, especially yours. And I don't want to take away from your first travel. However, if you were feeling that calling, then listen to it, because there is a reason for it. Feeling nervous does not mean it's wrong. It means something really matters in it. That's what causes the nerves. One of the best advice I ever got once was, when you feel those nerves, be grateful for them, because as you get older, you don't experience it as much. And so lean into those nerves. And one of the best decisions I did while traveling was, every time I felt those nerves, I had to do the thing that caused those nerves. And it made me do some really awesome, amazing things that I get to look back on and be so proud of myself for. Remember, sometimes the right decision is the one that expands you before it feels comfortable. If you're feeling called to it and something is telling you to find out more information and to lean into this trip, then visit my event page, which is at besocial.adl. You can send me a DM and I can add you to the group chat, or just send me a private one if you have any questions or concerns. Like, this is my whole job in the trip. I'm here to support you. I am here as someone who has done a lot myself and a lot of travel myself, and I know how scary it can be at the start, but it is so worth it, and that I want to be able to support you. So send me a DM. And we are going to close the video on a cliche. You'll never feel ready. Sometimes you just have to take the leap.